Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome back to the channel once again. If it is your first time here, my name is Gigo, and today we are back at a family house project where we are building a 7 bedroom house with a large conference hall and a meeting room as well. So, this is the episode 2. The episode 1, we started with the foundation block work, and then today, episode 2, we're going to move very fast. We're going to look at the filling of the foundation, the concrete casting, and also the block work. So we have a lot to cover in today's video, and also we have a lot to learn. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, kindly please do so that you follow this project. It's called the Family Project. In my playlist, you can check it out, and any other project that we've done on this channel. So we decided to use fine sand for this filling. Like normally we have, sand, rough sand, which has some gravels in there. But with this project, we decided to use a smooth sand for the filling. And there is a reason, behind that. Mr. Kwete is the man behind the supplying of this project, the stone, the cement, the iron rod. So if you are building, around Greater Accra, kindly please do get in touch with Mr. Kwete, and he will do the supply, of your building materials, and you can deal with him directly. You don't have to send the money through anybody. If you get an estimate, just give it to him that this is what you need, and he will do the supply for you. So as I said in my previous video, like we have to demolish an old existing family house and put up a new, kind of modern, structure for this family. So you can check in my previous video if you want to know the story behind this. But one thing that I was paying attention, with this project, because I was looking at the building around this structure, and I was asking myself, like, and I know most of you will also be asking, why are we not doing the damp proofing painting and using the chemicals, because it has become a norm now where everybody is doing it, and it is a must that everybody has to do it, and but I was looking at these structures. You can see the structures around us, and it has not even been plastered. This is how they just build it. And do you know how old these houses are? But you don't see any damp proofing, like, the rising of the damp in there. I mean, you can see that there's some black, but that is not like the damp proofing that we are seeing these days. Houses that are built 1 year ago, 2 years ago, they are having those damp proofing membrane. And these houses have been here. I would say the least house here is more than 20 years or 50 years. But you don't see those rough, water dampness rising up. So did they use chemicals? Did they do the damp-proofing things in the foundation and stuff? The answer is no. The thing is they use the right materials for their building. The way we are building these days is way different from, what our forefathers, I think the two generation behind us did. Our generation these days are very greedy people. Instead of using the right materials for the blocks and also using the right ratio, because they want to cut down costs, they want to make money, they don't use the right ratio for the building. That's why we are experiencing all this dampness in any area that people are building. And this is the challenge. It's not about using chemicals and using the bitumen. It is necessary. I mean, the membrane is something that I think we should all use. But the chemicals and all those things that we are putting into our concrete and into our block work, I mean, you have to use those things when you are building in a waterlogged area. But these days, people are building on a rock, and they are still doing all those things, protecting dampness coming from the soil. Before we start tackling damp proofing, let's make sure that we are using the right ratio in our concrete mixing. We are using the right blocks. You can see the building in front of us. It's been there for so many years, but there's no, and it has not even been plastered. That is the raw block. Is there's been rain on that structure, and there's no damp. So what are we doing, this generation? What are we doing? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. I know most of you come to me, we don't do damp proofing, we do it when it is necessary. The soil has to tell us what we have to do. Like I said, the people that are behind the production group are not anybody who just go to take contract. These are people that have been building for so many years. They know what they are doing. You can see the houses in front of us. You cannot tell me these houses were built 2 years ago. That's why they don't have the dampness. They are there for 80 years, 50 years, and they are still, there's no damp proofing. So before we tackle the damp proofness, with chemicals and stuff, let's make sure that the people that are building for us are doing the right, they are buying the right materials, they are using the right ratio. That will help, that will reduce, the rising damp half before you start using the chemicals. This way you have nothing. People will say, yeah, the climate has changed, but these houses are there before the climate change. The climate change, are we saying that the climate change hasn't affected all those old houses? And most of us can testify the houses that we were born in are still standing strong, and the houses that we just start building are having the damp issue. All that I'm saying is that we should buy our materials from the right source. We should get the right team building our house. We should make sure that they have the right mixture ratio, and that's why I keep pushing for Mr. Quete's, materials, the blocks, because my engineer, brother Sami, has given him the right ratio to use for the block manufacturing. That is why our blocks are solid. So as you can see, we are prepared for the decking already. Our stones are there. We have the quarry dust, and then we have the normal sand, which is going to be the mixture with cement for our concrete casting, which I think we'll see in our coming episode. So please stay tuned. You know, so this is what I just want to say about the dampness. It's not that I don't support using those chemicals and stuff, but it looks like we are doing it for every house now, but sometimes it's not really necessary. Some land don't really need it. You can use the membrane and that is just fine by it. But this is also because this construction thing has become business now. So instead of using the right ratio, they reduce it. They make money, they make profit from the materials they are supposed to use. And after that, they come to sell you these chemicals. And they also make money from the chemicals that they are selling to you. So please, if someone comes, hey, we have to use this and that on your land, to prevent dampness, let a person prove to you why would there be dampness. Oh, there's soil, there's water in the ground. You can see this weed grows on land that has water in there. Those are even things that you can just check. There are land that there's a certain weed that when it grows on that land, it tells you that, hey, this is a waterlogged area. And sometimes you see a land that barely has weeds on there. Nothing even is growing on the land, but you still have to do the improving, you still have to do the painting. Yeah, I think this is why most at times the houses are also expensive. So please, just take caution. I'm not saying that the improving is not good. You have to take the precautions. At least you have to use the membrane, to cover before your foundation before doing the concrete casting. That is very important. And one thing that I also noticed that when you use the plastic for the foundation trenches all around, and you are not careful and there's a leak in the plastic, can you imagine, just you create a void, a hole, you cover it with plastic. When it rains and it finds its way to get into the foundation, that means that the water is not draining, the water is staying in the plastic. And just imagine, blocks in a plastic with water. These are things that we have to watch. So please be careful, make sure you get the right team, and just ask questions. If you see I'm not doing the improving, you can ask me those questions and I can prove it to you in the video, or I will explain to you, or my contractor can explain to you why we are not doing those things. So please, because it has made it that if you are making a YouTube video and you don't put up the improving thing, meaning you are not doing a good job. We are not here to make ourselves rich. We are just here to, you know, make construction look easy for people. Easy doesn't mean that it is simple, but there are ways that you can make it simple and make it easy for yourself. And that is what this channel is all about. And my team is also here to help you guys, with the little education that we put out there. Not necessarily you have to use my team, but if you know these things, these are the questions you can ask your team. And maybe they also have a point that you don't see, and if they give you their point, the reason why, and you think it is reasonable, you can go ahead to do it. And if you want to spend the money on the foundation to do all the three level of damp proofing, that is also fine. You can just do it, but just make sure that they are doing the right, they're not just applying anything on the walls and telling you it costs this, it costs that. That is what I'm just trying to put out there. And by the way, whatever I am sharing here is based on observation. During my building journey, this is what I have observed, and that is what I am sharing out here. I might be wrong. I'm not a professional, contractor or a builder or engineer. During my journey of building, this is what I have observed. So please, if you have any deep questions with damp proofing and stuff, I believe you can use the guide, the tips that I'm sharing here. You can ask those questions based on your land, and I believe your contractor or your builder will be able to give you, you know, a reasonable answer. And if you think that you are not satisfied with his answer, you can always, if you get in touch with me, I can forward you to my contractor, and whatever he also has as a professional advisor, I believe he will be of help. So that's just by the way. Let's get to today's video. So as you can see, the concrete casting of the pillar is on. We are done with the block laying, and then after this we have to go with the decking. So before that, FO has to come and do his thing. He's going to do his wood and all that kind of stuff, which we will be seeing in our next episode. So stay tuned, and please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, kindly please do so. We have a lot of artisans on this channel. If you go to my playlist, you see their names and their function and what they do. You can first watch their video, and if you are satisfied with what they do, then you can get in touch and then you deal with them directly. So one challenge we also had was with this electric tension cables, which goes through the land, goes through the house. So that means that we have to take all of that out, which was also another challenge. There's all additional costs that you don't see until you get to the point in construction. So I believe this, brings us to the end of today's episode. I really do appreciate your time spent here on the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next episode. Let's get to it.
G.P.G Production Group.